Yeah. All right. Looks like we finished. While I was gone, I programmed. And while I'm here with you, I will program again. So, we did it. You didn't get to see it happen. But the moment where I finally fixed the buffering code was yesterday. There's still a bug, so you can have a little bit of my joy today of me solving a bug. This will be an easy one. But I was chasing this one all this week, and I did it. I fixed it. I figured it out. So now I'm ready. Ready to show you something. That thing is 3 clients connected, playing the game at the same time. But now, this is different than before. The client sees the client updates. This wasn't happening before. You weren't seeing client updates before. Now, those of you who are astute observers of reality and chaos may have noticed that when the guys move on one screen versus the other, they seem to have some sort of constant velocity thing. That's because I wasn't damping the code on the client side. Because I had this code that was telling it to not dampen their velocity every tick. Spiro, welcome, welcome. I see an incredible hat is what I see, even though I'm Canadian. Yes, that's right. We'll wear this hat every day on stream unless if I forget. Because I am an American. I believe in what I believe. And there's no going back now. So it is what it is. A lot of good news today. Still a terrible time. Anyways, game dev. You know, if my keyboard was like pristine condition, I'd show you my my keyboard, but it's not, so I have nothing to show off here today. I could show off. No, I'm not gonna show anything off. We're gonna keep it simple. I'll show off my stress ball. Maybe I'll show off something that matters. Show code. Oh man. Let me see. Is there something that's here? Nice little Bucky. Full screen time. We're going to show code. Not me, code. No one. There's only a few people that look at the stream to see me. One of them's my wife. The rest are here for the coding. All right. So, I had found it yesterday. Yeah, code, more code. So I had a method called isPlayerControlled. It was a check, player controlled. And where I had that method, let me see here. Yes, here. Is entity controlled by another player? And I was stopping the code from reducing its velocity. So now I actually can just do this. Bam. It took me forever to figure this out. I was chasing around. I was like, am I doing double packets? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? And I was just like, man, just getting all the wallet and stuff out of my pockets so I don't have to suffer while I'm at the keyboard with fat pockets. So anyways, this one line of code change, this is how you get good at programming. You just change one line of code and everything works. And then you're better when you delete like 100, 200. Woo! Okay, let's run it. Okay. So right here it says refresh server list, and I have a server that's showing all the game servers that are online right now. I've had that running for a couple days now, and it works because I write code that works. Other people, they write code that doesn't work. Do you know how long it took me to get here? I spent a whole friggin' week on this, okay? I was so annoyed. I was working my butt off. I finally have it. Okay. Now, I don't know if anyone understands the significance of what I've accomplished, okay? But one way to put it is all these guys, they're all moving. All these guys are moving. And they're seeing the world 100 milliseconds behind the servers, and this guy's 100 milliseconds behind, and then this guy is up to date. Okay? So here's the thing. I think we just solved world hunger with this bug fix, bro. One more bug fix. Just one more bug fix. Yeah, exactly. No way. We got a lot of work to do. But now I have fixed the player problem. The players are now experiencing the world 100 milliseconds ago, and it feels like real time to them. And their player moves in real time. And on the server, everything is accurate to real time. So here's what this allows me to do. This guy, when he moves around, the other client sees him. So I got two clients here now. And he sees them moving in, real time, according to him. But it's actually 100 milliseconds ago. If you watch the two very closely, this is as close as I can get them. If you watch them, there's like a little delay. But that's because he's getting 100 milliseconds of game tick data every 100 milliseconds. So he's seeing the world in the past. But it looks so smooth. I did it. I read some guy's article. I used my brain. Okay? I read Gabriel Gambetta's article about multiplayer stuff. And I was able to do it. And you know what? If I had asked the AI to do it for me, I wouldn't have gotten here. And I would have just been the same programmer I was a week ago. But now I actually have multiplayer code experience. I've gotten past what I would call the squabbles of the people who, when you ask them, hey, what networking library I should use, they say, oh, well, yeah, I mean, you can use this one or this one or this one. But, there's a lot more to networking code than using a library. Yes, of course. And now I can sit here and just say, so what? If you had the AI do it for you, you'd be done by now. Yes, I'd be done thinking by now. And I'd be stupid. You'd be stupid for it. All right. So Let's see. I think the next step to make this game look really good is let's have the player's item position start showing up. So then I could take accurate mouse coordinates. I could send the mouse coordinates at every update. And then that will make it look really nice. And the thing about this is really easy. Actually, but for anything though, I want to make sure I do a little testing every Sunday night with my uncle and brothers. And I want to make sure I have, well, let's move this over. That's done. I want to make sure I have enough for them to enjoy the experience, which means the goblin encounters need to be fixed. It needs to work. I need the coins to update right away. My brother said add coin pickup sound effects, so maybe I'll do that. And let's make this priority one. Mouse position should update every, or should be sent be part of the buffer. There we go. All right. Done with the to-do list. Let's get back to the coding. So we're going to do the mouse position first. Now, the reason why that matters is as a player, I should know where the other players are pointing their little circle. It's a fun feature of the game, and if you don't do it, then, you know, it just kind of looks lame. Like, it's the whole purpose of this game, really. So, I'm going to set that up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it calculate from here to their mouse position. That'll tell them the item position and go from there. This should be easy. Let's not make it hard. Item position? Do I send item position or do I send mouse? Do I care about the mouse position of the player or do I care about their item position? If I send the mouse position, then you're going to know where they're aiming beyond where their mouse is pointing. I'd rather just do item position. And that could just be a starting point. And then I just have to add that to player client. No. Yes. You want their actual mouse position for the sake of simulating things. It will matter at some point. Okay, good enough. So we'll start with it's going to be a client to server packet, and it will be the one where we do update position. In here, yep, so we've got the directions and stuff, but now we need to send in the mouse pointer. So this is game state. We need a player update object, and in here we have move up, down, left, right. We need to do float X, float mouse Y. Perfect. And then trigger attack is basically left click, but we should have trigger attack do something as well. I wonder why it's not right now. It's probably not because something stupid. We'll have to fix that as well though. Let's just fix trigger attack. I'm really excited about this multiplayer code and the 100 millisecond buffer because everything else gets to be built on, excuse me, on top of this, and so it just makes everything so much easier. So I'm really looking forward to starting to work on gameplay features over just multiplayer, like the networking stuff. Okay, mouse X, mouse Y. We jump over here, And yes, this is what we're doing. We're creating one of these. So we're getting whether or not they're going up, down, left, right. Great. So I don't think the game state pointer has a mouse in it, and that's okay. We're going to just send a mouse. I think I have a method for this. Get mouse position, mouse button, mouse position. Okay, it's something like mouse. Okay, MB is mouse button down. And in here I have mouse state pointer. And in there I have mouse position. And I think mouse position's the one, so. Player up is going to be mouse X is going to be mouse position. Close. So mouse position is a vector 2. It's not a big deal to use a vector because when you read and write the packets, it'll just work. And in here we're just want to make sure I'm not defining the struct. After that, let's get rid of these guys. Bam. All right. Q done. That's not how that works anymore. Okay, update, send it out. So I'm going to also send out the mouse position, which is after trigger attack. Here, one moment. I want to just see something. I have to check something. Just give me 1 second. 1 moment. Just gonna see if there's any funny business going on. Nope. Good. Okay. I'm back. All right, mouse position. So this is what we're sending to the server. Or no, this is what we're receiving from the client. Now we need to send it to the server. So let's see here. This is wrong. Server processing packet, and then I'm sending, no, this is wrong. Let's start from the right spot. We're gonna make the packet, send it, and then we're going to read the packet. So here we need to write packet, create packet, and then we'll do GG mouse state pointer, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do mouse position, size of vector 2. And there we go. So now we're sending that in with the packet. Now we need to read a vector 2, which is after the attacking, right? So the last one is attack triggered. So we would do vector 2, vector 2, underscore, whatever, this. Star, vector, star, read, packet, size of vector 2 underscore t. There we go. Okay, now with this information I would then set player up, mouse position, vector, done. So now we've gone here, we've received it, we've put it in an update, and now we have mouse position. So what I would like to do is in the processing here, in my fancy code that processes these packets, I want to do printf mouse position D. I guess it's an F and an F. And then we'll do player update mouse position X. And then we'll do player update mouse position dot Y. And now the client should be receiving mouse position data, and whenever I move the mouse. So let's get him over here, and according to this I should be getting it, but it's not. And also I messed up the way I wrote that string output. The other thing is I don't need to send any of that tick data now. I'm sending all this like tick parentheses. This stuff can be commented out now. It's no longer needed. Okay, great. Start that up. Let's go. Okay, so my mouse position says that I am mouse position 0, 0. Great. So that means that we have gotten here, and the mouse position has not been set and sent. And it's because it's from the server, and the server has a different way of sending that information. So we need to make them apples to apples, really. So that would be player update mouse position equals GG mouse state pointer mouse position. There we go. Save, run. And here we are. Okay, so now I'm still getting the mouse position, but it's still 0, 0, which makes no sense. So next is to do a little bit of this. Printf Okay, yep, same story, different page. So we'll do that, go. I really need to get this done, so stop being a problem. Yes, that's how I talk to my software. Okay, so what I do know is that what we're sending it's valid. You know, it is in fact data here. We did the same thing on both sides. So my thoughts are it's got to be it's the game tick data. So now now that I've gotten everything set up except for the server to client tick, send a tick, send server tick, this thing. So we've done everything here, but we didn't send the mouse. Bam. Look at that. Send the mouse position. We're donezo. Okay. So now we need to get on the right side of this, which is here in this case statement. I'm telling y'all, multiplayer code's a joke. Stop being a noob. Just do it. It is a joke. Took me a week. It's a joke. Got a nice little client-side buffering going on. We've got the game engine showing my mouse position, and now we have the client, and they're both matching. Of course, it's buffered. Now I'm wondering if it's really worth it for me to send every little update. Like, is that gonna like overload? This is going so fast on my end. I mean, that's what we do to the client. So, all right, all the mouse data is being sent. So now I can use that information to update the player client. Send packet to client. So that would be here case. We get it. We have mouse position. And then what I have to do is process it. So what we would do is you jump into here. And there's going to be a setting of like move up, move down, move left, move right. Yeah, right here. Client tick ignit. And then in here, I would do player cli mouse position equals player update mouse position. Bam. Okay, so we just jump into here, snag that, go back, jump into here. Bam. Okay. So now we've got the mouse position set. Now that is going to inform the code that I would use to set the item ID position. So our item position, right? So here we go. Vector arg scaled. It's this code right here. So that would be this stuff from here to here for each player client. So I would do, except I only want to do the ones that are valid. I don't want to duplicate it either. So this code needs to be escaped from here. And then I think the right place would be where I'm processing it for everyone else, which is right here. Is client receiving ticks. And then there's the is server, and then is server. And so if we're a client, we're going to get our inputs, da 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 da. And then here we're going to go through all the clients, the server, and then here for the other one. But you know what? Just do it for everybody. Oh, but there's probably, I need to do this. If trap is server or trap is client. For int I equals 0, I less than game state pointer dot layer clients I++, so we'll do length I++, bam. All right, paste that in there. Great. Okay, so now we need to get a player, and you know what? He's going to be called. We're gonna do a little quick replace here for player, and we're going to change it to player mouse update, and bam, great. Then get this guy, boom, he is going to be a client, so that'd be game player client t pointer, that equals get that, bam, game state pointer dash player clients I. Got him. Next, we also need to get the entity, and we will call that Oh. That's this guy. Okay. So now we need the player entity. So we'll do entity underscore T. Entities. And then we'll do player mouse update. Okay, so this is the one that's going to stay. This is going to be the new one. This one will be called player mouse cli. There we go. Perfect. Player mouse cli, this to here, entity ID. Great. Okay, we've got everything we need. We got all this. What we need now is the mouse position, which is this guy. This is wrong. We need it from the mouse, this cli here. So GG mouse pointer. Make sure we've got them all. There's none additionals there. Mouse position, and done. Build, go. All right, so it is moving. It is way not fast. I don't know if that's because, okay, so that's not moving either. Yeah, so that is probably too much data being sent. Or not. We should only be sending the mouse position if it changes. Right? Because it's not going to change this much. But, I mean, our keystrokes are coming, like, as much as that, though. So that's not valid. I just don't get why it's so choppy. Also, are these guys... These guys aren't even in sync anymore. It's because the packets are probably getting nuked. I don't get it. So let me just do a quick thinking. The server should constantly be updating his own player client info. Otherwise, it's just gonna look weird. So I would say up here. Okay, great. Why are we getting an error? Comma. That should have fixed my... Good. So my mouse position looks great. His mouse position's not updating. This is weird. Interesting. Yeah, there's definitely something different with the mouse coordinates being sent. But also that's a lot of stuff to spam. And then we could do tick again. We could turn both of these back on. Someday I'll write a nice logging thing for this. No. You need to show the mouse position. There's not. It's just additional data. So this is where things are getting to be like ridiculous. You only need to present to the user your position on the screen. Okay, so the resolution of the game screen should fit in way less than a float. We only need the X and the Y coordinates. We don't need a vector. I mean, we can have a vector, but we don't need to transfer a vector. We can send 2 ints instead. And let's just take a look here, because I know this doesn't matter. And for the sake of what the user is receiving, like, they don't care, right? So, yeah, it's always a whole number. So we're going to go back, and instead of writing this, we're going to do int, and we're going to do x, and we're going to do a little bit of funky business. There we go. That'll make the packet smaller, and it really doesn't matter to have the decimals. We don't need to send all that extra data. That'll save us a ton of space. When you're sending that many packets, every little bit counts. Okay, mouse X, mouse Y, great. Next is the read side of this packet. There. Now we go to the read side, and instead we're getting int, mouse X, and mouse Y. Done. Okay, next is, so this is that, so we'll just do a little bit of this for fun. Great. These are, yeah, so we're casting the int. No, we're just gonna we're giving it as is. Okay. We get all that. And let's see, is there anywhere else we're doing mouse pause, comma, right here. This one needs to turn into 2. Okay, and now we're reading it, and instead of this, it's going to be ints. No. It's going to be I guess we'll do ints. Perfect. Down here. Great. Try again. Why? It makes no sense. There's got to be a issue with the tick data. Get rid of the mouse position update. It's too much spam. Peeled, send. All right. Interesting. Before, we were getting like near instant updates. And now it's like very Oh, you know, that's because you're providing the destination. You're providing the destination. No, I'm providing every mouse input. If we look through this, it moves, you know, it moves, but there's a jump. But that makes sense, you know? So what is it that's going on? We're receiving it, it's jumping. It's not the same. It's the difference. Is we're accepting keys and pulling keys every update, whereas the mouse can move really fast. That's interesting. Interesting. I haven't thought about is if we have to process, if I have to sort the things that I'm processing. Whoa. That was annoying. Okay. Okay. So why don't we draw a dot on the screen of the mouse position as we're receiving it and have that dot move around, so then I know what it looks like. Smart. Big brain. Let's go in here. So what I'm going to draw is simply going to draw the mouse positions of each player just to see what they are. See if it makes sense. And then I also can see how fast they're updating. So this will be easy. Oof. We'll do that. Of course. He's been saying 45 a lot today. All right, blue, let's go. Boom. Click, click, click. Going. Blue's the worst color for this. We're gonna have to use red. Okay. So aha. Here's the issue. With player input, you're just sending the inputs. with mouse position, it's way more than inputs. It's like the issue is that it's not like holding down a key and when you let go, it kind of stops and you're good and there's not much of a jump. It went from on to off. Whereas with the mouse, if I get enough ticks, it's going to move a lot faster. So what I need instead is I need to be aware of the difference between there and now, and then apply a shift. I guess it needs to... Can't you just simulate it? I mean, like, what are we doing, right? So instead of teleporting it where it needs to be, it's giving it the new target to move to, right? Because we can move this instantly, but when it's correcting, we can just kind of give it a velocity, a max velocity, right? Because even like, I guess it could go like that. So if I made a max velocity of movement, then when you move it over here quickly, it doesn't need to be choppy. It's just going to follow the movement pattern. And also, suppose that it's fast enough. So from here to here would be pretty quick. On my end, I get nice FPS. On the other end, it's choppy. But his movements are fine. You know what? Is it that big of a point right now? No, it's not. I wonder if... Yeah, it's not that big of a point yet. All right, we don't need like the red dot pointer everywhere now. And it's one-sided too because the client's not sending info to the server yet. That's okay. Or the server doesn't care yet. Who cares? All right. Say this isn't the problem we're going to solve today. What we need to do is to get the server and the client to show where the player's item position is. That's a good start. Okay, so the client's not updating his own item position. Do we need to do the mouse? Because we could just send item position. That would still be jumpy though, because it's not like holding down a control. I imagine that the mouse, yeah, see, that's the problem. That's okay though. Let's get this started. So we need the player's info to get sent to the server, and that's what seems to not be happening right now. So the server is receiving packets constantly. So we need to do that. Update. So that'd be player P client server update position. And that would be in the val, so the case. In here we're sending mouse position. Here we're receiving it, we're getting a mouse position. Oh no, we're making it, sending it to the server, we got the mouse position. Here we're receiving it, we've got our mouse position, but we're not doing anything with it. Is that right? Let's see. Read all this. Mouse X, mouse Y. Great. Player updates being set, but we need to update the player because the player gets updated constantly at a constant rate here. Great. So that should fix that. Jump in, start, jump in, start, join, left, right. Okay, we've got our position set, and you are of your position set. The server is receiving perfectly good, accurate, up-to-date mouse positions. Look at that. That's smooth. Smooth, fast. So the player is going to get choppy and the server is going to get fast. Problem here is now the player is not updating his own position in the client list. So we need to do that. Is server, we're going to look for is client. We have that. We got our ping coming out. Player right here. We're changing our game state pointer. Move up, move down, move left, right. Those are controls. Come on, there's got to be the client one. The client one's where right here. Sending the packet out, but we need to do it at the start of the update. I'm going to add it in here if they're a client. Where's the server doing it? Server's doing it right here as part of this. So I'll just do if people are going to read this, archaeologists are going to read this code and they're going to be disgusted, and I'm not going to care. So I think there's a point, it's where we check to see okay, he's still not updating. Very bad. How do I not have this happening yet? Is it because it needs to be built? Did I not build it? We'll assume I didn't build it. Okay, nope. All right, so here we do server whatever, we go through all the clients, We use the mouse position from the player client. Great. So we need to get the current player. We're setting all this stuff. The problem is we don't know who we are. So where am I? Player connected. I need to send the game state player connected. In here, we get it. Player connects. Change multiplayer status. We're sending the game time. Multiplayer status. Peer ID, client ID. Where's the client ID? Bam, we send it to this particular client. Problem is that, like, who am I? I guess when you send the packet, you know who you are. Is that true? Yeah, right here. And we send it to client. Client case gets his packet. And then we do in here SC packet. Packet, CL packet, and then CL packet's not going to have the client ID, it's going to have the peer ID, so we'll know who we are based off of the peer ID. So I could get the player client from the peer ID, and then that would be enough. So where's peer ID? Ugh. Okay. It's ridiculous that I don't have the information I need. I don't have the peer ID. That should have been something that I got ages ago. So we need to get it. Connect to server. Join server. Start client. Uh-oh. I guess it's this one. Go back a bit. Yep. Yep. Okay, great. Here we are. GNet. Connect. Successfully connected to server. How did I get so far and not given the player a client ID or set its player client variable? That is so odd. Change multiplayer status. Why would I allocate here? This is wrong. What I would do instead you know what? I know what the client ID is. So that's good enough. So here we are. So this is supposed to not happen, so let's just verify that's not happening. This one's a no-go, so let's delete that. I don't want anyone pressing that button. Bye. Didn't happen. Okay, so we are making it there. And then the reality is that we're making it here, but we're not updating the real thing. So let's try this instead. We should have a client ID here. Yep. Perfect. So then, if we do this, great. Done. Oh, did I deleted mouse X? Let's get that back. Great. Okay. His circle moves. And this one moves too. And since the server is receiving exact data really fast from the player, that means they have everything. That means everything's being communicated. And the only problem is that it's going, the mouse can move so fast that you can't smooth anything. We can actually, instead of processing it, we can simulate the movement. Instead of just doing the jumps, we simulate the speed. And then it gets there a little bit later than it needs to, but it still works. I think that will be a very effective approach to this problem. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. I just figured it out. Velocity vector towards the current mouse position. Apply it. Profit. So instead of jumping to the destination, the mouse's position moves at a certain rate towards the destination every tick. And the game simulates that velocity and then it stops. That can work. Do I want to do that right now though? So what have I got here? I've been streaming for some time so far. Usually it tells you how long, but let me go somewhere else and check. Okay, an hour and 45 minutes. Or an hour and 21 minutes. Okay, good. So I got more time. All right. Mouse position is part of the buffer, but we didn't smooth it. So smoothing on mouse position. Kind of like how we're doing with the other stuff, except we, smooth it. So to smooth it, instead of using the position updates, you're going to just do a velocity vector towards where you want it to end up. And eventually it'll end up where it needs to be. It won't look as pretty or as accurate, but it will be smooth. So I have to ask myself, what's the max amount of velocity I want a mouse to be able to move? And I could even just display that on the screen, that commented out code at the end of this render buffer, render method, whatever. We'll uncomment that out for now. So this is the mouse position. Now instead of recording mouse position, we could do mouse target position and mouse current position, and then every tick we take that mouse and we update its velocity vector to point towards where it needs to go. Then the mouse doesn't look like it's crazy. So that would be a couple things. We would need mouse position. Okay. What do I really need? Each buffer is going to tell me. So really mouse position's where I want it to be. So I need target. There we go. And then we could add velocity vector. All right, so I just made my player client grow, but that's okay. And then I don't need to pass anything except the current mouse position, which is the current target position. And then the mouse will move towards it, and then that will make the cursor move, and then the cursor will look great, and everything will be fine and dandy. So let's get going. We're going to zero all these to start. Okay. Sometimes you just think for a while. Yeah. Yeah, I just did that. Fear me. Okay, so now we're going to get, instead of updating mouse position, which we're not going to do, we're going to do something different. We're going to update the target position by, the mouse position by the target, or by the velocity, which we're going to calculate the velocity based off of target position. And matter of fact, we don't really need mouse velocity for calculating it every tick. So we actually could get rid of this. And we will in a second. First, let's update the player's positions, right? That's the idea. So then in here, we go through all this, and then there's a point at which the actual speed or position changes of the player based off of their velocity. So let's take this velocity here. So it would actually be this velocity. There's going to be, are you kidding me? This is just amazing. There we go. So then somewhere here, we're going to use the velocity to change the position. Yeah, right here. So every entity in the game is going to have its velocity be controlled somehow. And where is the one for the player? Like, player position should be getting modified by velocity. I want to see it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so we're doing it right here. Plain and simple. So I want to also have something like that, but for the player clients. Do I want it to happen every, or before the player? No, it has to happen before or after. I would say it'd have to happen as part of the player input process. They're going to move, physically move a little bit. So they're going to move. Then we're going to report at some point what's happened. We're going to come back around. We should move the velocity over for the input. And I think it's quite all right to do it here. Yeah, I would do it right here. This is immediate. I'd want to make sure to skip myself. So that would be easy. In here I could do it actually. No, we're updating mouse position. I guess you could do it here still. And you would just do the velocity movement and then update. So I would do it right here. Mouse client, it'd be this guy. So I could do it here. Mouse update. Yeah, we could do it about here. So I got my mouse. So I have a mouse, and then I also have mouse target. So this would be player, mouse, client, mouse position, target. So I would do, I want a vector pointing to it, so I would be doing this. Oops. I guess velocity is the origin, so then it would actually be this vector to origin, and then we would take vector to target and the source. And I probably got these backwards. And I think I've done this a few times. A vector from V1 to V2 centered around origin. So I actually want a vector from mouse position to mouse target. Great. So that gives me what I would call the instant vector. But we need to scale it down. So then I would do vector to normalize. Now it's a unit vector. And then I would do vector to scale. And I would say, you know what, you can be like two. Great. And then I have a vector, so then I could say vector. Okay, we have vector to target. Okay, so now, wait, what is this? This was mouse position stuff. Why'd I do that stuff? I've got the origin, so I'm going from mouse point to target, then I normalized it, and then I scaled it. So now that's going to be my velocity. And I'm going to add that to my mouse position. So then that would be player, mouse, ply, mouse position, vector to add. I think I have vector to add. Vector to add. What does it do? Okay, it takes the two things and adds them together. Vector to results, and then I do player, mouse, client, results, player, mouse, client, mouse, position equals result. That then would be it moving once a tick for everybody towards their target. It's going to be nasty looking, but hey, it's good for now. And we'll have it look better in a moment. Okay, so the idea, great, okay. So it's going too fast right now. I'm gonna see if I can use my hot swap code on this one. It hasn't worked for a bit, which is unfortunate. But I'm willing to try it. So I think that my scale factor is messed up. Put it to 1. Build. Nothing crashed. Great. So then scale factor, let's do 0.5f. Still didn't crash. We're looking a bit better. I'm going to try half of that. And it crashed, which is okay. Let's run it and look at it. Still the same problem. It's a lot of jumpiness. I'll just keep toning it down until it looks okay. I don't want to open that. It's the wrong file. I'm moving perfectly fine, and he's moving. Let's get it going again. I would say a little bit more. Wait, am I updating? Yeah, I'm updating mouse position. Okay, so why not so insignificant the amount? Still good, but I would go further. Let's do 620,625. I wonder. I think an ad. So every tick, I'm sending the velocity out. Oh, I'm not upgrading the target at all. Am I? Where would I be updating target? Of course it's not working. Like, what am I even doing with this thing? Nothing. That's why. It's gonna be think about ticks. Tick, tick, tick. Client ticking it in here. Okay, great. And we get into this mouse position. This is what's supposed to be TAR. Okay. Bingo. 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 Yep, I did it. Okay, looks good. Over here, it looks like it's doing nothing. That's perfect. This needs to now go back to 1. I know. Well, we'll go back to 5 on this, so it's not too slow. Jump that in there. Click, click, clickety click. Click, click, click. All right. So, what's the difference? If you ignore the ball, it looks pretty accurate. The red ball. He's moving pretty quick. He's able to teleport across. Very good. And I'm imagining that if I speed it up, it should, if I speed it up, there should be more of these jumps, which is what I don't want. Just a thought. Yeah, this is going to be great. This is such good. Let's change this to 20. We'll do one more little attempt, and then we're going to move on. Because what they're going to see is just... 20's kind of messed up. No, 10 was good enough, because the thing I was trying to fix is the close-up stuff, but that's not going to be as important. Okay, we're at 10. Bam. Okay, we go back to the bottom of the render. Comment this out. For now, build. Run. And, okay. Run. Click, click, go. And now, you're not going to see the mouse. You're just going to see the target. Okay, smoothed it out. Done. Not everyone can do what I do. Perfect. So now we need to fix the attack or trigger attack. And that was in the same place as the other one. So trigger attack, but I think we call it somewhere else. We call it trigger attack. Okay, so here we got update position. We're attacking. Great. We're attacking. Great, great. But we want to find where we're doing something about that attack. And in here, we say that we're still doing a little attack thing, but there has to be something being done with it. And I remember the player but it's the entity. We need to give that information to an entity. Okay, well then we'll do mouse left, mouse, I think is what it is. Mouse, no, it's mouse left. Mouse button left, here we are. So, if not, then that, do this. Player, be attack triggered. Okay, great. So, see where we're using it here. This needs to be extracted to work based on item. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is preparation. Where's visibility? Visibility's here. And it says that if you are this type of thing, we'll do it. Okay, so we go through the entity list. And if you're a king, soldier, or a goblin, we draw it. I think what the problem is that we're not updating the attack trigger for the entities that are attached to the player clients. So we need to do this. So I would say in my updates, which are doing player update, go. Go. Why is it so annoying? Okay, so we're going to jump back here. GM update. And in here, we are processing those updates for the players. We're processing the updates. And that's changing all of this stuff. But what we didn't do, let's see, this is saying player up, move, blah, blah, blah. Where the server, when we're the server, we update the player client stuff immediately. So we're getting down here. And then we're client, we're updating all the player client stuff. And now we're down here, and he says if it's a player client or whatever, we do this. So what is it? This is it here. And here it happened where we take the player client stuff and we update the stuff that the player client's doing, but then we're enacting the inputs as well. Well, I guess we do it here. So this needs to happen. So player client move right. So then we're going to do and then we would say true. But we now have to follow the rules. Right, so attack triggered. I think that says enough to get the clients to work. But what about the server? The server's doing the same thing. So this is kind of a sad state of code here. I need to fix this part soon. We're iterating through the player clients and stuff, but then we're doing all this like update code. This is just bad. Very bad. Nope. And yes. But the problem is when I click, it makes him click. That's wrong. if I'm a server and my game client has trigger attack, that's not it. It's not trigger attack. It's left click. But that's not it. It's trigger attack. Where's the spillover happening? Oh. No. That makes no sense. It works. But it doesn't show it over here. See how messed up this is. Yeah. Trigger attack, trigger attack. All I did was change these two things. How is that messing that up? If I had a second computer that I had the game on, I could test this and see what I'm doing that's messing this up. I think I know what it is. There's no timers. And what's odd is that, yeah, there's just no, the timers aren't running. But I don't get how that affects another one, unless if the way I wrote the server thing is messed up. So player clients, get the entity ID. It's up. And if it's trigger attack triggered. Let me be attack triggered. Right? Be attack triggered is the wrong thing, because what it's doing is it says attack triggered. Oh wait, no, that's the right thing. Attack triggered means a try to attack, so that's actually not wrong. But no, it's still fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what it does. There's something turning it on for the client. That is mouse button clicked. Does that have a loop around it? If player is not equal null. So this works in both front end or server and client, which is fine. If the attack is not triggered, trigger it, which is great. What I would think, or what would be concerning to me, is if we're receiving packets from ourselves and we're believing that we're client ID 0. So what I would like to do, run this again. If I, you know what? Let's put on the screen which client ID we think we are. Right? That's the easiest thing. GM render down here. Go to the bottom, and we'll do. Where are we gonna diff? Client ID 0. Client ID 0. I'm client ID 0, or I crashed? I crashed. So now we're going to take the next thing here and we're going to say that. Run it again. Wow, I killed something. Didn't even attack. Okay. Client ID 0. Client ID 1. Great. Next thing is to look at the packets that are being sent across the wire for the client, which would be this one. Here, we are receiving stuff. When I click here, this is the server. I'm not receiving any updates there. That's weird. Okay, so there's this here is the server, and so it's got all the packets, but it's sending out 0 and 6. Okay, so they are receiving the right thing, and when I click here, I just don't understand. Maybe it's because if it was doing what it's claiming, then wouldn't it? Yeah, if I right clicked, it would trigger over here, and it's not. So this is getting sent across. And that's fine and dandy. And then we go over here. Okay, I have a 5th one on that one. Okay, so Dr. Fard Nerd says, yo, what's up? So this issue is not related to client ID. It is related to client ID. No, it's not. Client ID 0. It's probably fine. So what I need to do is figure out what I'm doing with that attack, trigger attack, and just see if I'm doing anything weird anywhere. So whenever we update our position, we'll send that signal. Player client is the client from the peer ID. Okay, great. So that one looks fine. This looks interesting. So client to server, we give the immediate updates. Great. And now we're getting to here. We got our array. We send all that information and we put in the peer ID. What I wonder is there a chance that this packet has the wrong peer ID? If packet peer ID greater than 500, print f. Wow, there is a problem. And we'll just do that. A million times. I'll know right away. I get so much spam. Okay. Nope. It's not the issue. Okay. Okay, good. So if that's not the problem, we'll keep going. Read packet, get Boolean, that's fine. What am I doing? That's a player update. Peer ID is coming from the packet. So that's good. For this, so this is initializing. I think this one's fine. I'm going to turn this one off and see if he does any of that magical blinky stuff. So the server is attacking. Oh, yeah. I think I need to change this part here. So GM update. So GM render. And then in here, there's a, there was some code in here for that. Be attack triggered, I think. Be attack triggered. Interesting. Send game state units. Interesting. Trigger attack. So this is if we're sources attack trigger, and then there's in the render method. In here, yeah. So entity attack triggered. Draw it. Okay. So yes, it's a left mouse click event. Yeah, that's right. Right here. And player is... player ND. We get it. I think this is where I need to move it to. Player inputs. Yeah, I mean, that looks right to me. Yeah, this is where I would want it to be. And I know that the mouse clicks aren't leaking through because on the right, when I right click, it spawns. But left, when I right click, it doesn't. So I know they don't leak through. What doesn't make sense, and maybe there's something related to the game state pointer. Why would the... What? Okay, so I'm the server. I'm gonna get... Oh, I'm adding my information. So here I would have my be attack trigger is true. So that would be this. Okay. Still not showing. And now this is not showing. Just feel like I'm breaking stuff. Okay. So you're a player. You run through here. We get to the player inputs. You press a button. You know, this trigger attack. What is this even for? Oh, this is weird. Client to server. That's a problem. That's a problem right there. Client to server update position. Why am I updating game state pointer? That makes no sense. And now that explains what's going on here. If you update this, this is the client to the server. So the client sending me information. I don't need to update these things. This is wrong. These should have been their own booleans. So we're going to go bool, done. Then we're going to go, okay, great. So then we have be attacking. We already have that. You're gone. And then save. And then what is the move up and down and left and right for? Game state pointer? No, that's wrong too. Because it's client to server. So the server is receiving this packet. It shouldn't be. The only reason this worked was because the server is updating its position. So that's a incredible issue I caught there. Okay. That explains a lot. Becoming the debug king, you know? All right. Great. So the good news is I can attack with the king and it shows his thing perfectly fine. And then over here I can attack and it shows perfectly fine. The problem now is something new. Every tick, you're supposed to set your stuff back to 0. Right, so in here, it's setting it to false. So I actually need to do this. What is it? Attack, trigger attack equals false. And actually, we'll put it right next to this. And all of these guys should have just been doing this. Up, down, left, right. Like that. That's much easier to understand. And then get rid of all this stuff. And there we go. We're attacking. Bam. Killed that stupid thing. Killed that one too. Put a whole bunch of them on the screen. Okay, now you're moving. You're attacking. Is it showing up for the server? No. But the good news is we're not making the other guy blink. So now we fix that. So what was the issue? We'll run through it again. As a client, when I attack, the server is not receiving the attacks. As a server, I attack and it's present on both and the consequences are visible. Okay, so the issue is the client's information is not being reproduced in the server. That's easy to fix. So that is that would be server, client to server. So that would be client, server, and that would be its, oops, wrong one. Client server update position. So in here we're sending the attack triggered. We go to the case here and we're sending trigger attack. Perfect. I think what I did is I took it out. No, I didn't. So let's look back here. So the client is there and the server's there as well, except it's this game state pointer stuff again. This is all a bug, a mess, really. So player update, because this is the same problem as before. Okay. Perfect. Run. Start. Put this over here. Go. Okay, and the server attack works. Client is attacking. It still doesn't work. Better than before. Because now, when we send stuff to the other players, it's going to be correct. I think it's the update. No. Yes. It's the tick. So that would be the server. Send server tick. Let me check one more time. Yeah, it's not registering on the server, so it's send server tick. And in this, we've got our values. So let's go through this. We're sending the right stuff. Player update, trigger attack. We're writing that to a packet right here and sending it out. So now when we're on this side, we receive that information. And are we placing in the right spot? It's on player update, trigger attack. Okay. So now we've got to see how trigger attack's being used. No. The server's not receiving it. Still the server that's the problem. Almost got messed up there. So it's update position, and then the server is being sent the be attack triggered. Go into here, we've got it, we're reading it. Be attacking, be attack, trigger attack, trigger attack. So at some point we need to, as the server, take the player client info and do something with it. So that's where we're at. We're looking at the player client loop for the server. Go through here, is server, player inputs, is server iterating, and now this is where it should happen. And yes, I had it turned off because of a bug that we were debugging. So we're back on, go. Okay, first test out that you still attack and it shows up in the server. It does. Now we attack over here. We're great. Perfect. Now adding a third guy. I'm going to put these over here off screen so I can still see them, kind of. We're going to jump in, boom, and oh no. What did I do? Packet create, send packet, syscall, send packet to client. You know what? I think that was an unfortunate click. So we're going to try that again. 1, 2, 3. Move that on the left. Front and center here. And the last one to the right. Okay, we're in. All right, something's wrong with this mouse movement for the new client. And there was a crash. And I think it was a server that crashed. So what on earth? That's so bad. Well, I guess I'll have to run the server a few more times. This is the worst. Get out of my way, Goomba. Okay, we'll run this now. Here, boom, boom. probably... Can't be that hard. Okay, so what do we got here? We got RTL heap. Oh man, this is not good. Keyboard swap. Power stash 88. Have you tried talking it to it nicely? No. It's not how it works. It can suffer. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. This isn't ChatGPT, you know? Okay, so my thoughts, it's not the clients that are crashing, it's the server, and I'm pretty sure, like, it doesn't look like I've done enough here to really make a big problem. So I changed those, and then I set these values. I was already setting these values. It's just those up there. And then same thing. And then here I'm just saying up, down, left, right, and I got rid of some code. I made a new, or no, I didn't make a new if. I just like deleted some stuff. And here, the diff made it look really weird. Trigger false to true, great. Why would I have to do it here, but wouldn't have to do it elsewhere? Okay, it's player, that's why. And then let's look at the next one. That's good, that's good. That's fine too. That's fine. It's not looking good. Okay. It's not looking good at all. I'm gonna have to take a look and see what the client ID is on the one that joins last. Client ID 2, that's fine. It's not crashing yet. Okay, it did. So wait. Interesting. Well, shit happens. All right. Bring out the big guns. Okay, why don't we just do open this game. No, that's not what I want. I want to set a new target. Add target. Okay. Engine. Launch and run. Go. 1, 2. Interesting. You haven't crashed yet? Yes, you have. Okay. What do we got here? Main thread. Something about this. eNet malloc. Okay, eNet's having a problem. What are we trying to allocate? A long. Create packet, data length. Hitting main thread. Send packet to client. Syscall. Trap send to client. What client are we sending it to? 1. GM update. GM update. VM main. Game update. This is too far. Trap send to client. This is what we wanted though. So we're sending this packet here and there's something wrong with this packet. So let's see. Player update tick. Oh, stupid. Okay. This is easy to fix. I've done it before. I fixed it before. I could fix it again. It's not hard. It is. I wonder if I can edit code here. Let's just test it out. No, I can't. I can't because it's running. That's what I think. Okay, so it's the tick data. Send out tick data right here. This is the problem. And I've done this before where I buffer it and I didn't buffer it. So whenever the packets get too big, the tick size gets too big, it starts failing. Okay, so we've done it before here. If it's too great, send the packets, create a new one, try again. So that's what we're going to do. So data length plus 52. So we have to figure out what our data length is for all this. It's like the worst way to do it too, because if you forget, to do your check, then you'll keep messing up, but whatever. I almost feel like the way forwards for me on this is to write something that does the repacking for me. And I know if I put it to do on it, I'll roll my eyes and I don't want to do it later. So I would have to do it now to get it done. I'd have to want to do it now too, which I don't. But anyways, the example code is here, so it's this stuff. If data length is above 512, and we want to stop at 512 because that's how big our packet size is. Then I have a method here called write entity do packets. That kind of helps. I could have the first time you use one of these methods, it returns how much it's used, so then you could keep track of it. That's just not my style. We tried talking it to nicely. Ay, ay, ay. I remember when, it's like, it felt like that's how things worked, Like with Super Nintendo and stuff, if you like blew into the console or something, or the cartridge rather, then it would like work. That was like your last ditch effort. Send packet to client. Yes, this is correct. So we go through the loop, we send and we write, we send and we write, and then at the end we do one more send. So then down here it would be the same thing. We go through the loop, and we go and we go and we go and we go. But the difference is we need to put this stuff in here again. I want to see how I did it above. Man, that is like painful. So we wrote a packet up here, the create packet. We're using it. We got to get a new one. No, we don't get a new one. We clear this one out and we make a fake one. So we really don't need to make a new one, but the packet has to be outside of the loop. I'll just take this as an example of what we're doing from here to here. Jump down. So this is what I'm doing now. And then we're making the packet here. Player update send. Boom. Make the packet. Wait. We are sending. Oh, we're sending this packet to each client individually. So if we want to do this, it is the right place. And in here is where the mess happens. So this is the packet. So we'd have to make a new one of these if it's bigger than the size. So then that would put us in here. We would say if player update tick packet dot data length plus, we'll just say 42 greater than 512, we need to make the packet again. So this goes away. And we're going to make it again. Which what that would look like is it's this val would need to be written again. And we're using val there. So then we're already good. Okay, great. So now what I have to do is I have to count the packets, which is annoying. I think that we could easily do this in a crashing manner. So what I'll do is something fun, and it's the wrong way to do this. Data length equals 0. Data length equals player update tick packet minus data length. Okay, and then we'll have data length equal the data length. Is this a pointer? No, it's not. So there we go. And then we'll do data length minus that. And that'll give me the actual data length. And then I could do a printout. Item size, this, data length. Run that, let it crash, whatever. After a few loops, I'll have the data length anyways. And is it doing a new line? No, now it is. Run. Okay, it's the server that's going to make these packets, so the server is the one that matters. I don't care about this guy, so we'll move over this way, click it, run, join, and boom, 27. 27. All right. So then we do this, 27. Okay, great. So here's what's going to go. It's going to go through the loop. We've got server tick in here. So game time and server tick. Let's make sure we're doing server tick. We're not. So we need to do server tick. Great. And why does it look different? Because it's the wrong packet. There we go. Do that, 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 and that. There we go. Bam. Build that. Close everything. Run it. If it worked, what's going to happen is that I should be able to get the other player in. That third player. And then I do need to keep an eye on the amount of packets being sent at the top. So I'm just going to keep opening. Let's connect a few of these guys. Great. All right, so there's lag. There's tons of lag right now. And yeah, it's enough lag to kill everything. but it stopped lagging. So I have a feeling it wasn't permanent. Yeah, it was some... Yeah, he's clicking. He's clicking. We'll put the 3 amigos over here. I don't know what's going on now. I think what's happening is... yeah, I think I know what's going on. Let me just double check something here. Okay. Send packet to client to everybody. Yep. It needs to be just sent to a particular. That's why it was doing that. It can't be -1. Okay. I need to encapsulate this pattern. You know, there's header information, which is this, and then there's, you know, the content, and I need to encapsulate it so that I don't have to. I just need to write a method, but so I don't have to like keep redoing this pattern. It's going to keep coming up, and then I could also have this write data. Okay. Anyways. I figured out that issue, so let's keep going. All right. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I'm going to put you here in the middle, put you up here in the middle as well. On the, are you the right screen? Yeah, you're the right screen. You're the middle screen, and then I'm going to get left screen over here as well. He's clicking, he looks good. He's showing up on all 3. Showing up on all 3. Let's move you over a little bit. Showing up on all 3. The positions are wrong, which means that we've got some sort of, yeah, we've got some issues still. That's too bad. I thought we had this fixed, but I think I'm underestimating. I must be sending a lot more packets, and there's got to be a reason things got so bad so fast. I was able to do this with 3 before, and it wasn't a problem. Why are we doing it this way? I feel like everywhere else I'm just calling this directly. I imagine that if there's enough latency, there's a problem. So we've got some ping here, but not over there. That's okay. They don't need ping. They don't know what ping is. So he's like wigging out. Because I put the mouse like right here and he just jitters. Whatever. Okay, so this is the server. And then this guy here is looking pretty good. And then he's good too. It's this stuff here where you attack and move guys that desync the server. And it's because that information is not being processed everywhere accurately. What is working is that you can have 3 people in at the same time. Let's try not to attack each other. And up right here, up left here, and then this one can attack. Okay, so move around a bit, spin, 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 land up here, stand on the white thing, move around a bit, kind of get here. Okay, move around, steal the coins. So that doesn't work. Doesn't really work. Interesting. I look to the right, I look to the left. It works on the client, but this client over here does not simulate the mouse properly. It's inverted almost. It's messed up. So let's turn the mouse debug stuff back on. Man, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. I got to stop soon, guys. All right, guys. So I typically stream 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, something like that. Not always consistent, but that's my schedule. Sometimes I'll stream on the weekends. I'm making a multiplayer game. And I'm writing it in C and Raylib for now. If things don't turn out later on with Raylib, I'll probably use SDL3. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later. I'm pretty much toast right now. I got something I wanted done fairly well, and I don't think I'm going to finish anything soon. I've already done like 3 hours, so. Your stream is competing with me watching Brood War on the other side. Great. Hey, hopefully I make something you'll like to play one day, all right? Nice to see you, Power Stash. Have a good one. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Have a good night. Yep. Let's stop the stream. Did I start it again? I stopped it. Great. All right. And, yep, you could follow